Working as a junior assistant in a high-rise corporate tower sounds glamorous until you realize you're mostly delivering overpriced coffee and dodging emotional damage from upper management. Hi, I'm Ava Hart, 25, single, frequently confused about my life choices, and currently I'm holding a confidential document that needs my boss's signature. His name, Logan Blake, CEO of Blake Industries. Also known as stone-faced perfectionist, emotionally unavailable, and possibly part-time vampire, no one's seen him smile in 3 fiscal quarters. I walked toward his office and knocked. No answer. Right. I remembered him saying once, "Treat this place like your home." And if it's my home, then I don't knock before walking into my own kitchen, right? So I pushed the door open. Quietly. The office was empty, floor-to-ceiling windows, crisp city view, leather and wood furniture, smelled like cedar ambition and expensive cologne. His desk was neat, too neat, like it was hiding something. And then I saw it, a small pink notebook placed suspiciously alone in the center of the desk. Not black, not navy, not charcoal gray pink, on Logan Blake's desk. Of course I stared at it like it was a bomb. I mean, who even writes in diaries anymore? Apparently Logan freaking Blake. I told myself I was just going to close it. But my hand, that traitorous little snitch, flipped it open. Just a peek. There are many types of men. Today I am the hopeless romantic type. Oh my God, I froze. My brain screamed, "Ava, you're reading your boss's diary. Close it. Now." But see, here's the thing. I might not be a good person, and my moral compass is, well, it's decorative at best. Lately I talk less and less. Should probably learn sign language. The fortune teller once said I'd suffer for love. I thought it meant heartbreak, not a global pandemic. What the hell? I kept reading. I couldn't stop. December 20th. Overheard my assistant Ava say my breath smells. Strange. She's young. Thought her nose worked. I choked. First of all, my name's not even Ava to him. It's assistant. And second, I did not say his breath smelled. I said, it was intense. There's a difference. 2 employees Pinky swore to eat sushi together. Still don't understand why Pinky promises feel like public executions. Okay, who gave this man a journal? I was laughing so hard I didn't hear him come in. And then a voice. Low, calm, very close. At 3:07 p.m., my assistant decided to invade my privacy by reading my diary. That's a violation of company ethics. I turned around like a corpse reanimated by embarrassment. Logan Blake stood there, arms crossed, looking like he stepped out of a noir film and into my worst nightmare. I panicked. A diary? Who even has those anymore? That's unprofessional, and also completely private. I'd never. Then I looked down. The pink diary, still in my hands. Oh God, I flung it away from me like it was radioactive. Direct hit. Smacked him right in the forehead. Logan blinked. A page fluttered out and hit the floor, then another and another. The whole notebook exploded into confetti. I watched in horror as his deep, cold eyes met mine through a snowstorm of his own thoughts. I laughed nervously. So, the print quality seems low, definitely not premium paper. He didn't laugh. Instead, he raised one perfect eyebrow. So, Ava, how much did you see? I stood like a criminal caught on camera. Just the first few lines, maybe a sentence about being a hopeless romantic, maybe something about learning sign language, hard to say. His shoulders relaxed, slightly, but his ears turned red. Logan Blake, the human ice sculpture, was blushing. You're dismissed. Oh, thank God. I ran out of there faster than my GPA dropped in senior year. That night, I sat at home eating malatang and panicking. I opened Mohu, a Q&A site for modern intellectuals and emotionally unstable employees, and typed, "What do you do when you accidentally read your boss's diary and maybe concussed him?" Then I rephrased, "How to avoid being fired before the holiday bonus hits." A few seconds later, I got a message from a stranger, Coach Daisy. "Hey, saw your question. I have a solution." My eyes narrowed. Stranger danger, absolutely. But also, could this stranger save my bonus flirt with him? I almost dropped my bowl. "Excuse me, desperate times call for desperate measures. You flirt? He flirts." Suddenly, no one remembers the diary. I considered reporting her for harassment. But then she added, worst case, you still get fired. Best case, married by next Christmas. Which was so stupid it almost made sense. This is insane. So is office life. What do you have to lose? And unfortunately, she was right. Next morning at 9:06 a.m., my team lead dumped a thick folder on my desk. Ava, take this up to Logan. I blinked. Do I look suicidal to you? Do I look like I care? Also refusing to do your job? That's a 50% pay cut. So I stood up and smiled with the pain of 1,000 unpaid internships. I love delivering documents to Logan Blake. It's my favorite part of the day. On my way to his office, I rehearsed walk-in. Be confident, be subtly flirty, make it look like it's his idea to forgive me. He didn't look up when I entered. Leave it on the desk. I set the folder down. Just as he lifted a black thermos and took a sip, and then he started coughing, violently, like lungs collapsing kind of coughing. Logan, I ran over. Are you choking? Was it poison? Corporate sabotage. This is how it ends. He gestured at the thermos, eyes wide. I panicked. Again. I pulled out my silver necklace, just in case it worked like a poison detector. TV taught me that. I sniffed. Smelled like bubble tea. Oh my God. He was choking on boba. Do you need the Heimlich? He couldn't answer. I yanked him up and wrapped my arms around his waist, sorry in advance. 1, 2, 3 thrusts. He spat the tapioca pearl across the room, collapsed onto the chair, gasping. I saved his life. Cool, 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 cool. Then I remembered my plan, the whole flirt your way out thing. So naturally, I dropped to my knees in front of him and cried, Logan, you can't die. I can't live without you. His eyes went wide. His entire body froze. Then I realized he still hadn't caught his breath. I gave him his thermos. He took a sip, blinked, and fainted. Just dropped. Cue the ambulance, cue the hospital, cue me sobbing dramatically outside the ER, not for love. No, for the Christmas bonus I was about to lose if this man didn't survive. Hospital lighting is unflattering. And yet there I was curled up in a plastic chair in the waiting room, sobbing like a Shakespearean widow. My boss is unconscious. My bonus is gone. Capitalism has failed me. A nurse walked past and gave me the side eye of judgment. Fair. When she disappeared, I sniffled and checked my phone. The news wasn't promising. Logan Blake, CEO perfectionist and bubble tea victim, was still out cold. Then the nurse came back. Room 314, he's awake. I ran like I was on a game show. I burst through the door only to be greeted by a bed, a white sheet, pulled up to the face. The unmistakable shape of a body underneath. No. This couldn't be happening. He couldn't be dead. Not from boba. My knees gave out. I collapsed beside the bed. Logan, you can't die like this. Not before bonuses drop. I haven't even updated my resume yet. Tears welled in my eyes. I clutched the sheet, dramatic as hell. Logan, I swear if you're listening from the afterlife, I'll make your funeral iconic. I'll hire 6 hot men in black suits to carry your coffin and walk away silently so people whisper about your mysterious past. I'm not dead. I froze, turned. There he was, Logan Blake, sitting on the couch, alive, very much not dead, holding his forehead like he was the one traumatized. You're not dead, I blurted. Then I caught myself. I mean, thank God you're not dead. He squinted at me, unimpressed. Why were you crying over there? I paused. Just rehearsing. For emotional maturity reasons. He didn't believe me. But before he could say anything else, a nurse came in and handed me a bag of food. You brought him spicy wings and Coke, she asked, disgusted. Yes, he just choked, she snapped. You brought more choking material. Okay, rude. Also, wings are therapy, ma'am. She confiscated the bag and handed Logan a bowl of plain rice porridge. His face screamed betrayal. Later that night, back in his hospital room, I walked in to find him reaching for my wings and my Coke. I gasped. Excuse me. He blinked. Yours? Yes, Logan. Mine. You got your sad porridge over there. Hands off my wings. He scowled. I almost died. Let me have some dignity. I snatched the chicken back. Respectfully, no. His gaze darkened. I didn't care. First you blame me, then you steal my food. That's toxic boyfriend behavior. He choked. We're not dating. You're right. This is worse. This is emotional embezzlement. We glared at each other. Then I realized my hand was still on his mouth. I was literally pressing my palm against his lips like some deranged fast food gatekeeper. Your mouth is very warm, I mumbled, withdrawing slowly. His eye twitched. Bonus. Cut. Confirmed, he growled. Excuse me, I stood. I saved your life. Yeah, with incorrect CPR and a death wish. I stomped to the door. You're heartless, he shouted after me, and you're wingless. Next morning, office pantry. I ran into Rachel Evans. Sorry, Claire, the I wear heels louder than my personality type. She sipped her almond milk latte like she had secrets and superiority complexes for breakfast. Ava, she said sweetly, you look alive. You too. Still single, I see. She narrowed her eyes. I had coffee with Logan this morning. I smiled brightly. Did you spit in it for me? She scoffed, then leaned in, fake whispering. I'm not saying we're close, but he does trust me with his schedules. I gasped. So you're the reason he keeps showing up to meetings where no one else is invited. She flinched. I sipped my coffee like it was tea. We were locked in a cold brew war. Back at my desk, I stared at my screen. It was time. Time to message the one woman who'd gotten me into this mess, Coach Daisy. Hey, Coach. Logan survived. My bonus didn't. Any ideas? She replied instantly. Flirt harder. Girl, I tackled him. He fainted. Then you're doing amazing. Up the game. How do I flirt without being fired or arrested? Do something thoughtful. Be mysterious. Be kind, but also chaotic. Sounded like a dating tip written by a Disney villain. But I had no better ideas. Hala fast forward to the night shift. Logan had been working late in his glass-walled office. I passed by. He looked tired. A chance I returned an hour later with his favorite bubble tea with no pearls, a sandwich, and a post-it that said, not poison. Promise. Ava. Then I vanished into the night like a romantic raccoon. The next morning I found an empty cup and a napkin with 2 words. Good choice. Progress. You'd think nearly murdering your boss with a tapioca pearl would earn you some respect around the office. You'd be wrong. The rumor mill was running like a caffeine-fueled hamster wheel. Did you hear Ava only got the job because of connections? She didn't even go to an Ivy. Honestly, it's suspicious. I heard she got in through the back door. Back door, sis. I couldn't even get in through the front door without my badge working 3 times. Still whispers followed me like a bad browser history. And then came the annual performance meeting, which is corporate for we'll judge you with a PowerPoint clicker. I stood in front of the boardroom, ready to present my yearly contributions. Laptop plugged in, slideshow loaded, click, big mistake. Because the first slide didn't show pie charts or KPIs. It showed bold Comic Sans text that read Ava Hart, Nepo hire. Office mattress, CEO's pet. Silence. Then laughter. Then the gasps. I stared. This wasn't my presentation. Someone had sabotaged it. Someone with access. Someone with heels that click. I exhaled. Calmly exited the file. Loaded the real one. Good afternoon. Let me begin again. I presented like a pro. Numbers, stats, results, no memes, no drama. Then I opened one last file. Let's talk about transparency. I displayed screenshots, interview notes, performance reviews, hiring emails. For those curious, yes, I was hired fair and square. No, I didn't flirt my way in. And if I had, I'd be CMO by now. Somewhere in the back, someone choked on their coffee. I smiled. Let's maintain professionalism. And if we're throwing shade, let's use data. Mic drop. Guess who started the applause? Logan Blake. Yup. Mr. No Facial Expression himself. He clapped once, then again. Suddenly the room followed. Even HR looked mildly impressed. Which is rare. Beaker 2 hours later. I was back at my desk, ready to finally breathe. Ava Hart. I looked up. It was Claire Evans, holding a folder, and standing next to a wide-eyed intern who looked like she just stepped out of her graduation photo. "This is Sophie. She's replacing you." I blinked. "Sorry, replacing me." "Correct. Please train her before you leave." "What?" My brain short-circuited. I was just applauded in front of the whole office. I proved my worth. And now I was getting replaced. This couldn't be HR protocol. This was a Netflix villain plot twist. But Sophie looked so innocent, so hopeful, so unaware that she'd just walked into an emotionally unstable war zone. I smiled. Fake, but supportive. "Welcome." Rule number 1, bring him black coffee at 9 a.m. He can't tell the difference between that and instant. Don't tell him that. Sophie nodded like she was receiving sacred knowledge. I patted her shoulder. "Congratulations, you're now officially underpaid." After that, I stormed to Logan's office like I was auditioning for Legally Blonde 3, Fired and Furious. I barged in. Didn't knock. He looked up calm as ever. "You didn't knock. I didn't apply through the front door either. Remember?" He blinked. I slammed my resignation on the desk, then added a post-it that said, "Congratulations. You win. Also, you suck." He didn't flinch. Instead, he said, "You're being transferred, not fired." I stared. "What? I didn't approve your termination. You're being promoted." I blinked. "You? What?" "To a new division, bigger team, more responsibilities, full bonus." Silence. Then I pointed an accusatory finger. "Then what the hell was the intern for to replace your old role? Why didn't you just say that?" He looked at me, calm, cold, collected. "I was going to, but you came in like a musical theater breakdown." My jaw dropped. "You manipulative, hot, emotionally confusing CEO man." He smirked. "You're welcome, Miss Hart." I narrowed my eyes. Then I did the unthinkable. I kissed him. Just a quick one, right on the lips. He didn't pull away, but he didn't move either, like a statue processing emotion. When I pulled back, I said, "Tell HR that's part of the bonus package." The kiss should have ended the scene. It didn't. Because right after I kissed Logan Blake, CEO paperwork tyrant man with the emotional range of a stapler, I turned to leave, and smacked straight into his assistant, Nick, the tall one with resting HR face. He stared. I stared. The air was so thick with scandal you could have spread it on toast. "You didn't see anything," I whispered. "Of course not, ma'am." He definitely saw everything. Later that day, I messaged Coach Daisy. "Okay, I kissed my boss. For strategic reasons." "How strategic?" "Like, mildly HR problematic, but passionate. And he didn't run. He didn't even blink, just smirked. He's into you, 100%. He's also cold, mysterious, probably sleeps in a coffin. Perfect. Your next step: invade his dreams." "What?" "Be there when he wakes up." Literally. It sounded stupid, so obviously I did it. The next morning I showed up early. Logan had stayed overnight at the office, classic workaholic move. I let myself into his private suite. He was asleep, shirtless, covered in only a thin gray blanket. Even unconscious, he looked like a Calvin Klein ad. "Logan," I whispered. "Time to wake up." Nothing. I poked his cheek. Still nothing. Then I leaned close, preparing my best bossy voice. "Wake up, Mr. Blake." His eyes flew open. He flinched, grabbed the blanket, pulled it to his chest like a Regency-era maiden. And that's when I saw them. Duck print pajamas, yellow ducks, tiny bow ties. I blinked. Bold choice. He blushed. They were a gift from your inner child from HR. I lost a bet. "Sure, John." I smirked. "You're lucky you're hot." Later that day, the entire office received a mysterious calendar invite: company town hall. Mandatory attendance hosted by Claire Evans. Oh, hell no. I arrived to see Claire strutting around like she owned the place. Sophie stood by her side like a confused duckling. Today, Claire announced we celebrate transparency, fairness, and professionalism. I leaned over to Sophie. Is she running for president? Sophie whispered. She just announced she's forming a culture committee. Let me guess, I replied. Step 1. Burn all joy. Then Claire added, some of us believe in earning our positions, not sleeping our way into them. Gasps. Eyes turned to me. Okay, enough. I walked to the front, grabbed the mic. Hi, Ava Hart, new division lead, still fully clothed. The room laughed. Let's clear a few things up. I don't flirt to get promotions. I flirt because I'm charming. The promotions are just a bonus. More laughter. Claire's face twitched like a glitching robot. Second, if you have time to gossip, you have time to proofread the Q4 reports. Dead silence. Logan Blake walked in. Perfect timing. He stepped beside me, took the mic, and said, I second everything Ava said. Claire's eye twitched so hard, I thought her eyelash might fall off. Logan continued. Also, Claire, you're being transferred to procurement, effective immediately. Boom. After the meeting, I found Logan at the coffee machine. You demoted her. He didn't even look up. No, I redirected her before I committed a felony. You're really hot when you're mildly vengeful. Don't push your luck. I did. I stole his coffee. He let me. That night, I got another message from Coach Daisy. You've made it. Now seal the deal. How confess something honest, something real, like what? Tell him what you saw in the diary. I froze. Because yeah, I still hadn't admitted that I read all of it. Including the part where he wrote, if Ava Hart knew how much I think about her, she'd run screaming. Or worse, she'd laugh. I stared at the screen. Then I typed, okay. I had a plan. Sort of. Actually, no. I had Panic a hoodie and a half-melted cinnamon roll, but I showed up anyway. Logan was still in his office. Lights dimmed, sleeves rolled up, typing like the fate of humanity depended on a spreadsheet. We need to talk, I said, Hart doing cartwheels. He looked up. About your sugar addiction or your growing habit of stealing my coffee? Neither, or both. But also, I pulled out the diary. His face went blank, then tense. Then, terrified, I read more than I said I admitted. He didn't blink. I read it all. Logan. Silence. Then slowly he stood up, walked toward me. You read the February 12th entry? I nodded. And the March 3rd one, I winced. Even the doodle of my initials inside a heart. He turned crimson. Ava, he said quietly, that diary was never meant to be seen. Yeah, well, my brain was never meant to fall for emotionally unavailable CEOs, and here we are. That stunned him. He stared, then finally asked, so, what now? I took a step forward, then another. Now you admit it too. Admit that you've been in love with me since I spilled bubble tea on your laptop. He sighed. It was my favorite laptop. Still works, because I replaced it. Exactly. You replaced it, but you didn't replace me. He stared at me like I was either a genius or a security threat. Then he said, I don't do feelings well. Good. I do enough for both of us. He exhaled. You're ridiculous. And yet here we are. Ridiculously compatible. Finally, he laughed. Then he reached for my hand and pulled me in. Okay, fine. You win. Of course I do. I read your diary. We kissed. And for once, no one fainted, choked, or burst through the door holding HR violation forms. 1 week later, Logan and I were officially a thing, which meant he still acted cold in public and hot in private. Claire got transferred to the procurement basement, capital letters intended. Sophie got promoted after writing an entire automation code by accident. And me, I got the full bonus. And a boyfriend with duck print pajamas. Life was good. Until New Year's Eve, I was in pajamas, face mask on, watching fireworks through my window. My phone rang. Unknown number. I rolled my eyes and answered. Hello? A static voice replied. We have Logan Blake. You have 10 minutes to send 200,000 when, or he disappears forever. I blinked. Wait, you're kidnapping my boyfriend. Yes, for 200K, correct. I snorted. He's worth way more than that. I'm insulted on his behalf. The guy on the line hesitated. Okay. 500K, still low. This is Logan Blake, not Logan Paul. They mumbled. I heard Logan's voice yelling in the background. Ava, don't negotiate with terrorists, I shouted back. I'm raising your market value. You're welcome. Then I muted the call and texted Nick, Logan's assistant. Hey, someone fake kidnapped your boss. Plus send a SWAT team. Also tell him I'm keeping his apartment key if he dies. 10 minutes later, the kidnappers were caught. Apparently, it was a rival company's interns trying to sabotage PR. Logan returned, bruised, annoyed, and deeply in love. How do I know? Because at midnight, he stood under my window with 19 red roses and 1 pink one. Ava Hart, he said into his phone as I stared down at him. I nearly died tonight. Me too, I replied. I almost ran out of hot Cheetos. I love you. I froze. Then I ran. Down the stairs, onto the street, into his arms. Say it again, I whispered. I love you. Good. Now shut up and kiss me. Epilogue. He still writes in that pink diary. Except now every page starts with Dear Ava. And every night he leaves it open on the desk, just in case I accidentally read it again.